Family said you can't afford to eat here. That's what they told me. Loud enough for the waiter and the whole room to hear. They laughed behind their menus, calling my shoes cheap, saying I should know my place. I sat there in silence, feeling every whisper burn through my chest, and none of them knew I wasn't broke. I was just quiet, so I stood up, walked out of that restaurant, signed a contract worth $40 million, and came right back. Their faces froze. They thought it was a joke, because what they didn't know was that I bought the entire restaurant chain last year. Every table, every chair, every bite they brag about belongs to me now. And tonight, they're about to learn exactly who they tried to embarrass. I still hear their laughter echoing. Family said, "You can't eat here." Those words slice deeper than anything. I swear the room even shifted. Like the lights dimmed around me, I sit there quietly, breathing slow. My hands tremble under the table. I'm trying to steady my heartbeat, trying to not fall apart publicly, trying to keep my voice calm. The menus feel heavy suddenly, edges cutting into my fingers, their whispers turning into daggers. I hear my aunt's hushed giggles. I see my cousin's mocking smirk. Nobody thinks I notice their eyes, the way they judge everything silently. My shoes, my coat, my bag, my life, apparently beneath theirs. The golden lights flicker above me. Soft jazz hums around the restaurant. Silverware clinks like tiny reminders. I don't belong in their world. At least that's what they believe. My father clears his throat loudly. Not to defend me. Never that. Just to make the humiliation sharper. He leans toward me, smirking wide. "You shouldn't order anything expensive." My cousins giggle harder instantly, their hands covering fake, shocked mouths. My aunt whispers she can't afford. And that sentence breaks something inside, something I kept holding together desperately. My pulse pounds loud inside ears. My throat twists tight and painful. I stare down at the tablecloth, white fabric blurring beneath, tears forming. I swallow hard, trying not crying, because crying would give them victory. Crying would make them right again. And I don't want them right. Not about me. Not anymore. My uncle waves the waiter over. He glances at me, dramatically mocking. "Bring water for her." Just water. The table erupts in soft laughter. Little knives disguised as family warmth. I feel heat rising up neck, shame burning across my whole chest. Every breath hurts a little deeper. Every second drags me closer, breaking. I reach for my purse slowly. My fingers shake, grabbing the strap. I stand without saying one word. The chair scrapes loud behind me. Their laughter slows into confusion now. My father leans back, amused, smug. "You leaving already? Can't afford?" The table laughs again in chorus. But I don't look at them. Not one single face anymore. I just walk out calmly, silently, through the warm, glowing restaurant doorway. Into the cold night waiting outside, my breath fogs the chilly air. But inside me, something burns hotter. Something steadier, sharper, stronger, emerging. Not rage, not sadness. Something else. Something that feels like final clarity. My phone buzzes inside my pocket. A message lighting up the screen. A name I've waited months for. A moment I kept praying for. The deal finally ready to sign. A multi-million contract waiting tonight. A door they never knew existed. A life they never imagined for me. But one I built quietly myself. I stare back at the restaurant windows. Warm lights glowing behind smug silhouettes. The same people laughing at me minutes ago. The same people about to choke soon. When they learn the truth tomorrow, because they think I'm nothing tonight. They think I'm still small, helpless. They think I won't ever rise. But they have no idea yet that I already own their pride. And I'm about to prove everything. I step into the car waiting, pen in hand, contract glowing. My heartbeat steady for once. Because tonight, everything changes forever. Especially for the people inside, and the moment I sign, their entire world starts collapsing. The car door closes behind me. Warm air wraps around my shoulders. But the cold stays inside me. sitting heavy like a swallowed stone. I clutch the contract in silence. City lights blur past the window. My heart thuds, slow but steady. A strange mix of pain, relief, the kind you feel after bleeding, the kind that warns everything changes. My phone buzzes again softly. A final confirmation from the firm. Ready when you are. Congratulations. The message glows on the screen. My reflection trembles faintly beside it. I whisper to myself quietly, "Don't go back there again." But my voice doesn't sound sure. Not with their laughter still echoing. Not with my father's smirk lingering. The driver glances through the mirror. "You all right back there, miss?" I nod, forcing a small breath. "Yeah, just a long night." He nods like he understands everything. The city downtown comes into view. Glass buildings glowing against darkness. My chest tightens looking at them, because nobody at that table knows how hard I chased this dot, how many nights I went hungry, how many jobs I worked quietly, how many rejections sharpened my focus, how many people doubted my dream, including the ones eating right now. We pull up to the entrance slowly, tall doors shining under warm lights. I step out holding my contract, cool air brushing against my skin. But this time, it doesn't sting. I walk inside with steady steps. Not glamorous, not dramatic, just real. Just a girl reclaiming her worth. Just someone done being stepped on. Done being the family's quiet target. The firm's receptionist looks up smiling. "They're waiting for you upstairs." I take the elevator alone, silent. Watching the numbers climb upward slowly, my heartbeat matching each soft ping. When the doors open, they're there. 3 executives around a long table. A single pen waiting for me. A stack of papers beside it. All the way to my journey. I sit down trying steady hands. But they still shake a little. Excitement blending with every old wound. Every whispered insult still bleeding faintly. Every humiliation I swallowed quietly. The lead executive leans forward kindly. "You earned this. Fully, completely earned." His words land deeper than expected. Like a gentle hand on bruised skin. Like someone recognizing my humanity finally. I sign the first page slowly. Ink gliding smooth under trembling fingers. A breath escapes me halfway through. A small sound I didn't expect. Not sadness. Not anger. Relief. Real. Overwhelming relief spilling upward. Everything I fought for becoming real. Everything they mocked me for transforming. Into something solid, undeniable, unshakable. Something worth more than their approval. When I'm done, they applaud softly. Nothing loud. Nothing showy. Just respect. A kind of respect I never got. Not from my father. Not from them. Not from the people who knew me. The executive hands me a folder. "Congratulations, you're now a partner." My chest tightens hearing those words. Because tonight wasn't supposed to happen. Not for someone they labeled less. The moment I step back outside, cool air hits me gently again. But it doesn't feel cold anymore. It feels like freedom brushing skin. Like a door finally closing behind me. My phone buzzes. A new message. A group chat blowing up non-stop. Pictures from the restaurant inside. Them laughing, bragging, celebrating loudly. As if nothing happened earlier tonight. Then a message from my cousin. "Next time, wear real shoes. Lol." And another, "You embarrassed yourself again." It's the same story. The same cruelty. Their voices always cutting, never stopping. I stare at my screen, breathing slow. A long silence fills the night air. But this time something shifts inside. Not pain, not shame. Something stronger. Something sharper than anything before. Because tomorrow they'll discover everything. And the truth will hit them hard. Harder than any words they used. Harder than their laughter ever hurt. Hard enough to flip their world, and all it takes is one quiet phone call from me. Tonight, one call that changes everything. And they'll never see it coming. The waiter disappeared into the kitchen, leaving the table wrapped in an uncomfortable silence. Alicia tried to keep her breathing steady, but inside her chest something trembled on guard. Humiliation and a pain she hadn't felt since childhood. She stared at the polished wooden table, trying not to let her emotions spill into her voice. Her aunt cleared her throat loudly. Honestly, you should have told us earlier. We wouldn't have come here if we knew your situation was difficult. Difficult. They said it like she was a burden, an inconvenience that had shown up uninvited. Alicia raised her eyes slowly. I didn't ask anyone to pay for me. I only came because you all insisted I join. Her cousin Samra smirked over her glass of juice. We insisted because we didn't think you'd actually come. You're always so simple, poor, lower. That's what they meant. But wouldn't dare say out loud. Alicia's jaw tightened, but she said nothing. She didn't trust her voice. Her uncle leaned back in his chair, shaking his head. Look, just relax. Don't turn this into drama. We're just being honest. Not everyone can afford these places. It's normal. Normal. Another word that cut deeper than it sounded. Alicia wanted to stand up and walk out, but she forced herself to stay still. Her hands were cold, despite the warm air of the restaurant. She thought about her father working double shifts, her mother stitching clothes late into the night, how they never complained, how they never treated her like she was less than anyone. Yet here she was, being judged for something she didn't choose. When the food arrived, it only made things worse. The cousins took pictures, posing perfectly with their plates. Don't include her, Samra whispered loudly enough for Alicia to hear. It won't match the aesthetic. Alicia's stomach twisted. This wasn't a meal, it was a showcase, and she was the flaw ruining their display. Still, she stayed silent, but then the bill arrived. Her aunt picked it up dramatically, holding it like it weighed 1,000 kilos. Oh dear, this is a lot. More than we planned. Samra leaned forward. Honestly, if we divide it, it will be too much for some people. Her eyes flicked to Alicia's face. There it was, the real attack. Alicia felt something inside her snap quietly, like a thread pulled too tight. She pushed her chair back slowly. I don't need anyone to pay for me, she said, voice surprisingly steady. She reached into her bag, took out the envelope she had kept since yesterday, money she had saved for weeks to buy a new pair of shoes. She placed it on the table. This should cover everything. Keep the change. Her aunt blinked, confused. We didn't mean, I know what you meant, Alicia cut in. And don't worry, you won't have to afford me ever again. Before anyone could respond, she stood up, lifted her scarf, and walked out of the restaurant. Her legs trembled, but her heart finally felt something like strength. Cold air hit her as the door closed behind. She inhaled deeply, her breath shaky but free. She didn't know where she was going. But she knew one thing clearly now. Some family ties aren't broken. They are cut cleanly, decisively, when they no longer allow you to breathe. The night air hits me sharply. Breath fogs in front of my face. I clutch my bag tighter, steady. Each step echoes against the pavement. My heels click, matching heartbeat rhythm. I pass the restaurants glowing warmly. Inside, laughter and light flood windows. Faces I know, oblivious to me. The people who humiliated me earlier. Their voices are just noise now. I keep walking toward my car. Phone buzzes, message flashing on screen. It's from the law firm again. Are you ready? Sign now. It says. A small smile edges across lips. This is it. My moment has come. They laughed at me just hours ago. Mocked my shoes. Whispered about me. And tonight the tables will turn. Not in fantasy. In reality, I reach the sleek black car. Door opens quietly, driver nodding politely. I slide inside, seatbelt clicking shut. Cold night pressed against warm leather. My hands clutch the contract tightly. I flip through the papers slowly. Every word confirms what I built. Months of planning, work, focus, effort, all culminating in this single moment. The deal worth millions. Mine now. My phone buzzes again, inside pocket. I glance restaurant photos, mocking texts. They still don't know, I whisper. They have no idea what's coming. I start typing a message carefully. One click, one text, one chain. It goes to everyone laughing earlier. Executives, cousins, and even my father. A single phrase, simple and clear. Check your bank accounts tomorrow morning. The weight of it hits instantly. I feel power, justice, and relief. Not vengeance for cruelty alone. Not money for pride alone. But proof they can't define me. I stare out the window quietly. Streetlights blur past in streaks. Every blur reminds me of years of being unseen, unappreciated, dismissed. Every blur also reminds me I survived. The city feels quieter somehow tonight. Or maybe it's me finally breathing, finally letting go of past shame, finally trusting that my voice matters, finally realizing worth isn't in approval. I park outside a familiar building. Luxury office tower, polished and gleaming. I step inside without hesitation. Everyone waits, poised and professional. I walk toward the table confidently. Executives greet me with polite smiles. No judgment. No whispers. Just respect. I slide the pen across the paper. Each signature echoes like thunder inside. The contract completed. Ownership fully mine. I step back, feeling lighter somehow. A single text pops up again. From my father. What? What did you do? I smile quietly, shaking my head. He has no idea yet. The restaurant texts keep coming frantic. Aunt, cousin, family, scrambling in panic. I lean back, calm, composed, steady. The hours of humiliation fade away. The tables have finally turned tonight. I look out the window, smiling. This is just the beginning, though. Revenge, justice, pride, everything's about to unfold. And the people who mocked me, they have no clue what's coming next, because tomorrow, everything changes completely. Everything they thought they owned is mine. Every bite, every table, every chair. All the memories of their laughter gone. And I finally rise above. The night hums quietly around me. But inside, I'm ready for the storm. The reckoning is about to begin. Morning sunlight glints against polished glass. I sip coffee quietly, calm, composed. The city hums with life outside. But inside me, a storm simmers quietly. Notifications flood my phone nonstop. Family group chat exploding with confusion. Screenshots of bank statements, shocked emojis. Voices of disbelief, panic, frustration everywhere. I scroll slowly, savoring every message. My father's text is the loudest. What? How? Is this even possible? I don't reply immediately, just smile. He has no clue who I became. No clue who he underestimated fully. Cousins, aunts, uncles all reacting differently. Some angry, some scared, some ashamed. They try calling, texting, pleading silently. But I ignore them quietly, firmly. Not because I want cruel to, because I don't. I've learned something stronger than anger. Power isn't in revenge alone anymore. It's in walking away with grace. It's in proving them wrong silently. It's in letting actions speak louder. I lean back watching morning unfold. The restaurant chain, every single branch, is officially under my ownership now. Every table they mocked, every chair, every dish they bragged about privately mine, and yet I don't gloat aloud. I don't post, shout, or humiliate. Justice doesn't need noise to exist. Sometimes silence is the loudest answer. And today, silence speaks volumes. I think about all those nights. Hunger whispers, being ignored, laughed at. All the moments I swallowed my pride. All the times they tried to shame me. All those moments led to this because now I rise above quietly. Not petty, not cruel, just victorious. Not for money alone, not for spite, but for dignity they tried stealing first. For myself, finally, fully, unapologetically, I take a deep, steady breath. The storm inside me finally stills. Light falls across the contract neatly. Proof of every hour, every sacrifice. Proof that persistence always beats cruelty. A knock at my office door interrupts. It's a young employee, nervous and hopeful. "Miss, congratulations. You did it, really?" I smile warmly, realizing the truth. Life isn't about family approval anymore. It's about building your own empire. It's about valuing yourself above judgment. It's about walking past cruelty with strength. It's about proving without shouting, "You matter." And sometimes letting silence speak justice. I glance at the city below quietly, and I whisper softly to myself, they thought they broke me completely, but they didn't know. I was rising, and rising quietly is the sweetest revenge. The phone buzzes again, family calling frantically. I leave it unanswered, sipping coffee calmly. Today, I finally belong to myself. Not to their laughter, judgment, or chains. Not to their whispers ever again. And that's when I realized fully, sometimes silence is the loudest answer. Sometimes the quietest actions speak strongest. Sometimes victory tastes sweetest when unexpected. And today, justice finally feels like freedom.